I've scaled up from 200K deals to $20 million deals. My first deal ever was literally a 200K triplex. My latest deal that I'm under contract on, knock on wood, is $20 million. So what does it take to scale up 100x? I'm going to take you through the exact process I used to go from 3 unit deals to 200 unit deals. This is pretty important, by the way, because if you do this wrong, you're going to be stuck doing small deals forever. So I started out managing my deals with live-in supers. And I would say this first stage kind of goes from 0 deals to roughly zero units to roughly 50 units or so. So I started out with live-in supers, and basically this is a tenant at the property who manages the deal in exchange for reduced rent. The typical kind of deal I would have with the tenant, in this case the live-in super, is them paying 50% off rent and getting paid $20 an hour for any work they did. Obviously you can structure it however you want, but that's kind of how I structured it. So the number one question I usually get about this is, how do you find the live-in super? I generally found them in 3 ways. One is that some of the properties I bought just had in-place tenants who are already helping to manage. Obviously, that's very lucky. If you get that, that's not repeatable and it may not happen every time, but I got lucky a few times with that. The second is just talking to tenants after the acquisition. So kind of just going door to door and seeing if any of them had kind of that handyman type skill set and were interested in managing or would have like kind of the attributes that would make sense for that. Lastly, if you don't have any of that, you're not lucky enough to have tenants who kind of make sense in place, you have to go and find one. So you're basically posting about that online. It's a job posting and trying to find usually a handyman type who can also help manage. So pretty simple there. Obviously, it's all on the execution, but that's how I handled all my deals until I hit like roughly 50 units on the deals. And at that point, and by the way, I actually had a 48 unit deal that was completely managed by a live-in super that was paying 50% rent and $20 an hour for any work they did around the property. That was usually renovation work or basic maintenance work. But basically the problem you run into at that point is once you hit like the 50 units number for an individual property, it's pretty hard to scale doing just the live-in super model. So I was kind of hitting a wall at that point. And once I got about 50 units, I actually hired an internal asset manager to start managing the process from the top down. So to be clear, that was at the company level. So my company, not at the property level. And that was the first company level hire I made. And at that point, it was still kind of difficult to scale. I would say as you start doing deals approaching kind of the 100 unit mark, that's where you kind of have to make the choice whether you're going to do kind of completely internal property management and basically just take it in-house, or you're going to outsource it entirely. And there are obviously pros and cons to each direction. Some people are going to say, like, I live and die by third-party management. Other people are going to say you need to do it all yourself. I've seen people make money both ways. Personally, I outsourced the management entirely. So I went with third-party management as I started approaching deals that were like at the 100 unit mark. And this is kind of what that structure looks like for me. First, the first level is really the on-site payroll. And generally what that means is you have a full-time maintenance technician on site and a full-time leasing agent. Depending on the size of the building, they could kind of share the GM responsibilities, or there could be an entirely separate kind of manager on the property. That's a little bit dependent, but I would say you definitely want a full-time maintenance tech and a full-time leasing agent. Their roles are pretty obvious, right? The maintenance tech's doing all the maintenance, leasing agent doing the leasing, kind of very simple there. Then kind of above the on-site payroll, you have the property management company. And the property management company is going to handle all the day-to-day tasks of the property along with that kind of on-site payroll. So they're going to manage the on-site personnel. They're going to help evaluate tenants, sign leases, collect rents, disperse expenses, handle repair requests, everything like that. So most of the day-to-day tasks of the property are being handled, right? It's not like you as the owner, once you start getting these 100 unit deals, are involved with every little decision. You're not, right? You're really handling the major decisions. And really what you're doing is you're kind of managing not just the personnel on site, but really the property management company as well. And typically how that works is you have the property management company and you have a weekly call or calls, right? And what you're going to do there is you're going to drive kind of the higher level decision making. So you're going to set rents, determine which units will be renovated and to what scope, address any large capital improvements that need to be done, stay on the lookout for any glaring issues that could be on the P&L, it could be with the property itself, it could be with the tenant base, whatever, right? You're there to make sure everything's kind of being steered in the right directions. And then you're also going to manage any refinance, sale, or recap decisions. So really at this point, obviously it's effort-based, right? And it's never not effort-based, but it becomes way more about being smart and making the right decisions than about just working all day at the property. And that's really the point you want to reach, where you've hit scale, where you have people working for you and you have a team. And that's how I was able to start really scaling up to the deals I'm doing now, which are really $20 million deals, roughly 200 unit deals. You have the on-site personnel, then you have the property management company, then you're driving kind of the higher level decision-making process. And it really obviously depends on you, because everyone looks to you to make the major decisions. So that's how I structured it. That's how I was able to scale. Like I said, people have done it slightly other different ways. I know some people take property management in-house. Personally, I think that's a huge pain. And you start being in the business of managing a lot of people internally, which is not what I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to kind of manage the asset and not the people. So that's the decision I made, and that's how I was able to scale, I would say, relatively quickly to these larger deals.
Personally, I believe the best way to do this is through real estate, because the deals are actually very easy to manage while still with a job. Um, if you would like to do this through real estate, I'm sure you've heard about the acquisitions bootcamp I run. It has, I don't even know how many testimonials and case studies at this point. Take a look at them here. You can apply for that below if you really want to get started and make serious money in real estate.